We see OSS secret agent Marissa watching a criminal through binoculars. His name is TikTok. He's here to make a deal, trading a dangerous mini-disc. Marissa immediately orders the OSS agents to move in. TikTok tries to escape, but the agents manage to capture the buyer. That's when TikTok pulls out a strange device, a time bomb, and throws it. The bomb doesn't explode. Instead, it freezes everyone in place. For a few moments, all the agents are completely stuck. TikTok jumps into his car and speeds away. But Marissa isn't giving up. She uses a zip line to chase him down herself. There's just one problem. She's pregnant. And suddenly, she starts having contractions. She's about to give birth, but still refuses to let him escape. She lands in her high-tech car and continues the chase. The car is advanced. It automatically avoids crashes and even dodges the traps TikTok throws behind him. Finally, Marissa launches a rocket, hitting TikTok's car and forcing it to crash. But TikTok survives and runs into a building. Even though the pain is getting worse, Marissa follows him inside. His men surround her, but she takes them down easily. Soon, other OSS agents arrive and capture TikTok. At that moment, the OSS director, Danger, shows up. He praises Marissa, telling her she just saved the mini-disc. If it had fallen into the wrong hands, it could have stopped the entire world. He activates the disc and reveals something shocking. It contains files about an old OSS project called Armageddon, a weapon so powerful it could destroy not just enemies, but the entire world. The only thing that can stop it is something called the Kronos Firestone. After completing the mission, Marissa decides she's done. She retires, wanting to spend time with her family. Soon, she arrives at the hospital. Her husband Wilbur is there with his 2 kids, Rebecca and Cecil. Rebecca and Cecil lost their real mother years ago, and they don't really accept Marissa. They still see her as just a stepmom. 1 year later, Marissa now has a baby girl. She's playful, constantly making a mess and keeping Marissa busy. Meanwhile, Wilbur works on a TV show called Spy Hunter. Because of this, he's always busy and barely spends time with his family. One day, he notices something strange. Time feels like it's moving faster than usual. Hours feel like minutes. He can't understand what's happening. Rebecca complains that he never has time for them. Wilbur responds that if his show becomes successful, he'll finally have more time. At the OSS headquarters, scientists report something alarming to Director Danger. Time is actually speeding up. Hours are passing like minutes. That night, Marissa talks to Rebecca and Cecil about school. Rebecca has been causing trouble, pulling pranks, and even getting complaints from the principal. Wilbur joins them, and Cecil excitedly asks if he can become a spy hunter like him. Wilbur jokingly shows off his signature move, raising one eyebrow. Cecil then asks how many spies he's actually caught. Wilbur admits, none, because it's just a TV show. Cecil feels disappointed. He thought his dad was a real hero. Wilbur laughs it off, saying one day he'll become a real spy hunter and catch someone for real. But what no one knows is that Marissa herself is actually a real spy. She's been hiding the truth from everyone. Later, Wilbur checks on Marissa and the baby. Seeing this, Rebecca feels hurt and left out. She storms off from the table. Cecil follows her to calm her down. Marissa feels upset. She tells Wilbur she's tried to bond with Rebecca, but Rebecca hates her. Wilbur reassures her, saying Rebecca is just struggling to adjust. Meanwhile, Rebecca vents to Cecil. She says ever since that witch Marissa came into their lives, their dad doesn't have time for them anymore. She also feels like Marissa is hiding something. She claimed to be an interior decorator, but nothing about the house proves that. Cecil defends Marissa, saying she's not that bad, but Rebecca has already made up her mind. She decides to pull a prank on her. She sets up a trap near the door, a container filled with blue liquid, ready to spill on Marissa the moment she walks in. Just then, Marissa walks in. She tells Rebecca that while cleaning the basement earlier, she found something that might belong to her. It's a photo of her mother. Rebecca goes quiet. Marissa gently says she knows Rebecca misses her mom, and she could never replace her, but she'd really like it if they could at least be friends. She even tries to connect with her, saying she actually likes her pranks. Then she takes out a necklace. She explains that her parents gave it to her and that it's always protected her. Now she wants Rebecca to have it because she's special and it carries the love of her parents, something that will always protect her. Rebecca is genuinely happy. For a moment, it feels like things might finally change between them. But the second Marissa steps outside, the prank goes off. The string tied to the gate pulls and blue liquid pours all over her. Marissa is hurt. Not physically, but emotionally. Cecil tells Rebecca she went too far and that she needs to apologize. Meanwhile, Marissa walks over to Wilbur. He's watching breaking news on TV. Something terrifying is happening. Time is speeding up. What used to pass in nanoseconds is now passing in hours. And if this continues, an entire year could disappear. People might run out of time to live. No one understands what's causing this. But suddenly, a mysterious figure appears across all news channels. The Timekeeper. He delivers a message. He blames everyone, says humans waste time instead of spending it with the people they love, and now they'll finally understand its value when there's no time left. He reveals that he has activated Project Armageddon. That's why time is speeding up, and soon the world will end. Rebecca notices something strange. Behind the Timekeeper, TikTok is standing there. Marissa immediately realizes how serious this is. At the same time, Wilbur decides he's going to catch the Timekeeper himself, finally becoming a real spy hunter. Meanwhile, we see the Timekeeper with TikTok. He tells him to bring the Chronos Firestone, just like they agreed. That small stone is the only thing powerful enough to stop the Armageddon device and restore time back to normal, which is exactly why the Timekeeper wants it, so no one else can use it. TikTok assures him he'll get it, but the Timekeeper gives him a warning. If he wastes his time, he's done. TikTok immediately sends his minions to locate the stone. They track it down to Marissa's house, because the Chronos Firestone is inside the necklace Marissa gave to Rebecca. At the same time, Marissa gets a message from OSS headquarters. They tell her the same thing. The only way to stop Armageddon is the Chronos Fire. She needs to bring it in immediately. Meanwhile, Rebecca is making a sorry card for her prank. Marissa comes to her and asks for the necklace back, saying she needs to polish it. Rebecca feels hurt. She asks if Marissa doesn't trust her. After all, she had just said she could keep it. Marissa hesitates. She can't explain the truth. She simply asks for it back. Upset, Rebecca walks away and hands over a box. Marissa takes it and leaves. Before going, she tells their dog Argonaut to watch over the kids, but here's the twist. Rebecca never returned the real necklace. She kept it on. Marissa arrives at OSS headquarters and gives the box to Danger, but when he opens it, baby food splashes all over him. Marissa instantly realizes this was Rebecca's prank. She apologizes and decides to go back and get the real Chronos Fire, but Danger stops her. He says they don't need it right now. Instead, she should focus on capturing TikTok, because if they catch him, they'll find the Timekeeper and stop everything, even without the stone. Marissa agrees. Meanwhile, TikTok's minions arrive at her house. They break in. The house's AI system immediately activates, warning Rebecca and Cecil that the house is under attack. A hidden door opens, leading to a secret emergency room. Argonaut sits by the entrance, and both kids rush inside. Inside, they find a pre-recorded message from Marissa. She explains everything. She built this emergency room long ago and reveals the truth. She's a spy. The kids are shocked. They can't believe it. But then, Argonaut starts talking, because he's not just a dog, he's actually a robot created by Marissa to protect them. Meanwhile, TikTok's men are still trying to break into the secret room. Marissa quickly contacts Rebecca and Cecil, warning them they're in danger and they need to leave immediately. She explains that the chairs inside the room aren't normal. They're actually jet pods, designed to launch them straight OSS headquarters. Without wasting a second, both kids sit down. Argonaut jumps in with Cecil, and suddenly the pods activate. They blast out of the house, smashing through everything as they escape. But it's not over yet. The Minutemen quickly transform their gear into flying vehicles and start chasing them through the air. Seeing this, Marissa remotely splits the jet into two separate pods, making it harder to track them. There's just one problem. The kids have no idea how to control them. The ride turns chaotic, spinning, shaking, and Cecil starts feeling really sick. He barely manages to grab a bag in time, and funny enough, that ends up saving them. As one of the Minutemen gets close and tries to grab the Chronos Fire, Cecil accidentally throws the bag right into his face. The guy loses control and crashes. That gives Cecil an idea. He grabs the remaining vomit bags and starts throwing them at the other Minutemen. One by one, they lose balance and slam into a pole. Just like that, the kids win their very first fight. Soon, both pods land safely at OSS headquarters. Rebecca and Cecil step out, dizzy, confused, but safe. Marissa had already sent someone to pick them up, and that someone is Carmen Cortez. She introduces herself and reveals that Marissa is actually her aunt and she's here to bring them in. The kids are completely shocked. At the same time, Wilbur is busy getting ready for his spy hunter show. He admits he's never actually caught a real spy before, but now this is his chance. If he can catch the Timekeeper, he can finally prove himself. So he decides to use a spy tracker to find him. Back at OSS, Carmen brings the kids inside. She explains that Marissa had retired, but she should have told them the truth, that she's a spy. Just then, Argonaut shows up too. Carmen casually tosses him a piece of titanium to eat, and yeah, he crunches it down like it's nothing. Definitely not a normal dog. Carmen then takes them to a hidden section, the Spy Kids division. She explains that this is where she trained as a kid, but years ago, the program was shut down. This division was designed to train smart, capable kids who could complete missions even adult spies couldn't handle, and now she wants to bring it back. Rebecca and Cecil start exploring. Cecil opens a case labeled electromagnetic boots and gauntlets. Inside, he finds powerful gear, stompers and hammer hands. These gadgets can create massive impact using electromagnetic force. Meanwhile, Rebecca opens another case, full of ambush tools, traps, and illusion gadgets. Basically, her dream setup. Carmen smiles and tells them they can keep the gadgets as souvenirs. The kids get super excited. But then she adds, they're not activated. She explains that real agents don't rely on gadgets. They rely on their brains. Then they watch an old mission video featuring Carmen and her brother Junie. Turns out, they were the first and last Spy Kids. Rebecca and Cecil ask where her brother is now, but Carmen avoids the question. She leaves them in the lounge, saying they need to stop the Timekeeper before time runs out. Meanwhile, Cecil spots a pile of chocolates and immediately starts enjoying himself. On the other side, Marissa arrives at TikTok's location with her baby. She gears up and heads inside, but TikTok is ready for her. Still, Marissa doesn't back down. Using her skills and even her baby's diaper as a distraction, she fights off all the enemies, but once again, TikTok escapes. This time, riding away on a bike. Back at OSS, Rebecca turns to Cecil with a plan. She wants to become a spy. Not just any spy, a better one than Marissa. And to do that, they need their own mission. Right now, the Timekeeper is the biggest threat in the world. So if they catch him first, they'll become real spy kids. They make a deal. Whoever catches him first wins. Cecil tries to activate his hammer hands, but they don't work. Instead, he ends up hurting himself. Yeah, not exactly a great start. The two decide to sneak out quietly, but a couple of agents spot them, and just like that, a chase begins. Agents start running after them, but Argonaut steps in. He leaks oil onto the floor, making several agents slip and crash. Still, more agents keep coming. Then Argonaut raises his tail and drops small explosive pellets. Boom, agents go flying everywhere. Finally, the kids escape into a high-tech experimental room. They're out of breath, trying to figure out their next move. How are they supposed to find the Timekeeper? That's when Argonaut speaks. He points toward a strange machine in the room. It's called the Organism Oscillation Transporter, a device that can teleport them anywhere. Now, using Argonaut's access code, the kids manage to hack into the system. Inside, they find a strange email. Argonaut explains that the code in this message can reveal the Timekeeper's location, but no one has ever been able to decode it. But Cecil takes one look at it and immediately realizes something. It's not a code, it's a puzzle. He removes all the numbers and focuses only on the letters, and just like that, the message becomes clear. Big Time Watch Repair Shop. Now they know exactly where the Timekeeper is hiding. Without wasting a second, they activate the transporter. Just then, Carmen rushes in, trying to stop them, because they still have the Chronos fire. But it's too late. Rebecca, Cecil, and Argonaut teleport away. They arrive inside the Big Time Watch Shop. Carmen quickly calls Marissa and tells her the kids have escaped OSS. So Marissa decides to track them down immediately. Inside the shop, the kids discover a hidden elevator. Curious, they open it and ride it deep underground. What they find is shocking. A massive time factory. Right in the center stands a giant clock. But it's not just a clock, it's a trap. As they try to cross it, Rebecca barely makes it to the other side, but Cecil slips and falls away, narrowly avoiding being caught. Meanwhile, Wilbur manages to fix his spy tracker with the help of his cameraman. Now determined to prove himself, he heads out to find the Timekeeper. Back in the factory, Rebecca and Cecil reach a computer terminal. They try to access information, but instead they find a video. It shows a boy trapped in time, part of a failed time travel experiment. When they play the mini-disc nearby, Rebecca finally understands everything. The Armageddon device, the one controlling time, can only be stopped by the Chronos fire, and suddenly it hits her. The necklace she's wearing, that is the Chronos fire, which means the Timekeeper wanted them to come here. This was all part of his plan. Realizing the danger, they try to escape, but it's too late. TikTok appears and freezes them instantly. He takes them straight to the Timekeeper. The Timekeeper demands the necklace from Rebecca, but somehow the kids manage to break free and try to run. The Minutemen quickly surround them again. Just in time, Marissa arrives, along with the baby and Carmen. Rebecca and Cecil feel relieved seeing her, but they're not safe yet. There are too many Minutemen. Marissa looks at them and says, "We fight together, as a family." And finally, she activates their gadgets. Now things get serious. Cecil powers up his hammer hands and starts throwing powerful punches, sending enemies flying. Rebecca pulls out a whip from her gear and begins taking down Minutemen one after another. Carmen and Marissa jump into action too, fighting side by side. At that same moment, Wilbur reaches the watch shop. Following the tracker, he ends up near a dumpster. Suddenly, the lid opens, and he falls straight into the time factory with his cameraman. From above, he watches the entire fight, but because of the distance, he can't clearly recognize his own family. Still, he records everything, and then quickly escapes. Back in the fight, the Minutemen just keep coming. They completely surround everyone. Things are getting out of control. That's when Cecil gets an idea. He activates Argonaut's attack mode. The robot dog transforms into a full combat machine, taking down enemies rapidly. But in the middle of the chaos, TikTok uses his mechanical arms to snatch the necklace from Rebecca. He finally gets the Chronos fire. Seeing this, Marissa quickly grabs her kids and escapes with Carmen. TikTok tries to chase them, but the Minutemen stop him, and that's when the truth is revealed. The Timekeeper says, "This was all part of my plan." Now that they have the Chronos fire, no one can stop them. Meanwhile, Wilbur rushes back and shows the recorded footage to his boss. But the moment his boss sees it, he's shocked. Wilbur realizes something terrifying. If this footage is seen by others, his family's secret will be exposed. So in panic, he literally destroys the footage. He eats the tape. His boss kicks him out immediately. Outside, Wilbur walks to his car, and suddenly Marissa appears. He's furious. He tells her she lied to him. He calls himself a spy hunter, yet he never even realized his own wife was a spy. Marissa tries to explain that she left that life after marriage. She apologizes again, but Wilbur doesn't listen. He drives away. Meanwhile, time is running out faster than ever. News reports say that an ancient civilization once predicted this moment, a time when the world would end in chaos, massive disasters, tsunamis everywhere, total destruction. At OSS headquarters, Director Danger gathers all agents. He explains that the Armageddon device, also known as the time travel experiment, was created long ago, but it was so dangerous that it nearly destroyed the world. So OSS shut it down and locked it away in a level 13 vault, and it has remained there ever since. But now, they must protect it at all costs. So Danger has called in one of the best agents, someone highly skilled, someone special, Junie Cortez. Carmen sees him, but she's not happy, because he's been missing for years. She asks him where he's been all this time. Junie simply replies, "I just needed a break." Meanwhile, back at the agent lounge, Rebecca and Cecil are still there, when suddenly, Director Danger walks in. He thanks them, because thanks to them, OSS was able to locate the Timekeeper's base. But then Rebecca notices something strange. The watch Danger is wearing, she's seen it before, with the Timekeeper. Cecil quickly connects the dots. He says that if you rearrange the letters in Danger's full name, it spells Armageddon. That's when it hits them. Danger is the Timekeeper. Realizing they've figured it out, Danger immediately seals the room. He can't let this secret get out, so before leaving, he burns out the room's circuits, trapping the kids inside. Rebecca tries to open the door, but it won't budge. At the same time, Marissa arrives at the big-time watch shop with Carmen and Junie. Just then, she gets a call from Rebecca and Cecil. They urgently warn her to get out. It's a trap. Danger is the Timekeeper, but Marissa thinks it's just another prank and cuts the call. Moments later, they take the elevator down and come face to face with the Timekeeper. Danger removes his disguise, revealing his true identity. He tells them his plan is almost complete. Now he will finally retrieve the real Armageddon device from OSS. Everything, the chaos, the time acceleration was just part of his strategy. He has already prepared a way to freeze all OSS agents, using their own ID cards, and just like that, every agent gets frozen in time. Marissa, Carmen, and Junie all frozen, and with no one left to stop him, the Timekeeper escapes with TikTok. But there's one person who didn't freeze, Junie, because he wasn't carrying his ID card. At first, he's confused, but then he gets an idea. He quickly contacts Rebecca and Cecil. He tells them everything. OSS has fallen, everyone is frozen, and now only they can stop the Timekeeper. They must get the Chronos Fire necklace back and shut down the Armageddon device. Rebecca hesitates. How are we supposed to do that? Junie smiles and says, "Spy kids always beat the bad guys, because adults overthink things. For kids, anything is possible." That's all they needed to hear. Rebecca and Cecil make up their minds. They're going to stop him. They activate Argonaut's attack mode, and he smashes the door open instantly. The kids rush to the Spy Kids division, suit up in full spy gear, and even dress the baby like a tiny spy. Meanwhile, Junie realizes that the ID cards are the reason everyone froze, so he removes them and unfreezes Marissa and Carmen. But just as they try to escape, they get trapped inside a massive hourglass. Sand starts filling up around them. Time is literally running out. Back at OSS, Cecil sneaks into level 13. Guards are everywhere, but he turns off the lights and uses his hammer hands to take them all down silently. Soon he reaches the vault holding the Armageddon device, but just as they're about to get in, TikTok and his men surround them. Rebecca quickly whispers to Cecil, "We should surrender and wait for the right moment." Reluctantly, Cecil agrees. They give up, but TikTok takes all their gadgets. Meanwhile, Wilbur returns home, only to find it completely destroyed. Suddenly, Argonaut appears on a video call. He tells Wilbur that Rebecca and Cecil are in danger. They've been captured by the Timekeeper, and they need his help. Back at OSS, the Armageddon device is finally brought out. Rebecca and Cecil are captured and brought in as well, but Rebecca isn't done yet. Using a small hidden toy gadget, she cleverly pulls one of Danger's watches toward her. Then she asks him something important. "Why do you want to destroy the world?" Danger pauses, and then reveals the truth. The Armageddon device was never meant to destroy the world. Everything they were told was a lie. He doesn't want to end time. He wants to go back in time, to his father. He explains that his dad was working on a time travel machine. The day they were going to test it, something went wrong. An explosion happened, and when Danger ran to him, he got trapped in a time loop, frozen, for years. He watched everything, but couldn't move. Rebecca realizes something. The boy in the video, trapped in time, that was you. Danger nods. He says his father spent his entire life trying to save him. He watched him grow old, right in front of his eyes, and eventually, his father died. Later, OSS found the Chronos Fire and shut down the machine. That's how he was finally freed. But by then, it was too late. He had grown up, alone. Everyone he loved was gone, and now, all he wants is to go back, to spend time with his father, because his father gave him everything, and he never got the chance to give him even a little time in return. Sissel tries to reason with Danger. He explains that going back in time won't actually change anything. All it does is create multiple versions of you, existing in different timelines. He points out something shocking. TikTok is actually one of those versions, and all the Minutemen, they're variants too. Sissel tells him clearly, no matter how many times you try, you can't change the past. But TikTok interrupts, telling Danger not to listen. We will succeed. At that moment, the time machine activates. The portal begins to open, leading to any point in time. Junie, Marissa, and Carmen arrive just in time, but now the entire place starts shaking violently. Because of the Timekeeper's device, the entire world is freezing, every single person frozen in time, except for Danger and his men. He had adjusted his watch so only they remain unfrozen, and he's loving it. But what he doesn't realize is, Rebecca had already stolen one of his watches. That's why she and Cecil are still moving. And not just that, they've secretly taken back the Chronos Fire. Now they make their move. They rush toward the Armageddon device. TikTok tries to stop them, but Cecil uses a disc attack and knocks him out. For a second it works, but the moment Cecil lets go of the watch, he starts floating and freezes mid-air. Rebecca quickly moves toward the Armageddon device, trying to place the Chronos Fire inside it. But before she can, TikTok recovers and snatches it away. He throws her aside, straight toward the time portal. Rebecca quickly unfreezes Cecil again. Together they make one last attempt to convince Danger, but he refuses to listen. And then, he steps into the portal. Danger travels back in time, to the old OSS headquarters, to his father. For a moment, he's happy. He finally sees him again. But when he returns from the portal, everything changes. He's now an old man. With a heavy voice, he looks at Rebecca and Cecil. You were right. No matter how hard I tried, I couldn't change anything. He explains that he tried again and again, but his father still died. And before dying, his father told him something important. Life is meant to move forward, not backward. That's when Danger finally understands. He stops fighting, and using the Chronos Fire, he shuts down the Armageddon device forever. Instantly, time returns to normal. Everyone who was frozen comes back to life. The world is saved. Rebecca and Cecil drop the control watch. Marissa runs to her kids and hugs them, and finally, they accept her as their real mother. But suddenly, TikTok tries to escape again, with the Chronos Fire. This time, Wilbur shows up, and he stops him. He handcuffs TikTok like a real hero. Some Minutemen try to attack, but Wilbur takes them down with a single punch. Yeah, he finally proved himself. He turns to his kids and makes a promise. I won't wait for the right time anymore. From now on, all my time is yours. He also forgives Marissa. Later, Carmen and Junie make an announcement. They've decided to restart the Spy Kids division, and this time, they'll be the group leaders. Rebecca, Cecil, and even the baby are officially part of the team. And speaking of the baby, she's already started walking. Everyone's celebrating, when suddenly, TikTok tries to escape again. But before anyone can react, the baby grabs him and throws him across the room. Yeah, her first fight. And she wins. In the end, we see Rebecca and Cecil now working together, finding and training new talented kids for the Spy Kids program.